Hey YouTube, it's ShryphonX here. Today, we're going to be talking about Chainsaw Man Chapter 218. Like and subscribe for more content Denji's choice. Chainsaw Man Chapter 218 Review. Torn between his love for Asa and the fate of humanity, Denji must make a difficult decision. This chapter spans 14 pages. The chapter begins with Asa revealing her plan to be consumed by Denji. Denji refuses to lose Asa, even willing to kill her. However, Asa asserts that she is already dead due to the horrors her body has endured. Initially, Asa believed she could reason with Yoru whenever Yoru contemplated evil thoughts. However, Asa realizes that with America's support for Yoru and the world spiraling into war, Yoru will no longer relinquish her body. Asa and Yoru share a unique dynamic, as they are essentially half-fiends. Yoru has now regained her full devil powers, making her much closer to a hybrid, a human fused to a devil through a contract, wielding them as tools. The dynamic is inverted, with the human side serving as the tool. Asa attempts to present Death's world, a world dominated by devils, in a positive light, hoping Denji can fit in since he already resembles one. Asa feels that even if she returns to a normal life, she can no longer sleep after everything. All of Yoru's atrocities and her own actions, particularly recalling her involvement in killing her father, have left her unable to accept herself. Indecisive, Asa tripped and fell, allowing others, such as her mother and the mother-like Yoru in her mind, to make decisions for her. However, she now yearns to make a choice without tripping or allowing things to happen, ultimately choosing to die, ironically at the hands of the man who saved her life. Motivated by this, Asa decides to sacrifice herself to save Denji from Yoru. Fujimoto's first work, Fire Punch, initially traumatized his fanbase by the concept of imparting the will to live into another person. Mainly Luna, the sister of the Agni, the protagonist, and Togata are affected by this. This chapter also evokes memories of Power, who sacrificed her life to save Denji in the final arc. This pattern suggests that Chainsaw Man might conclude soon. Is this the end for Ace's arc and Chainsaw Man as a whole? Parallels are evident here. Yoru and Asa are essentially Sukuna and Megumi from Jujutsu Kaisen, but Megumi's resistance as an agent is diminished due to the bath. Additionally, Ace's guilt mirrors Denji's rapid decline at the beginning of the Control Devil arc. Makima had provided Denji with everything in Part 1, only to strip him of his normal life. Denji's guilt over killing Aki led him to willingly become Makima's dog, rather than his initial desire to touch her breasts or, more intimately, be her lover, an impossible dream. In this state of weakness, Makima allowed him to witness her momentarily kill Power, further weakening him until Pachita could emerge. While Part 1 focused on Denji's transformation into humanity, only to lose it due to one woman's control, Part 2 introduces Yoru, the inner devil of the protagonist Asa, as the true monster seeking to destroy Asa's sense of self. Yoru gradually exposes Asa to atrocities, worsening her guilt. The gun devil arms attack on a civilian area to fight the chainsaw devil was the catalyst for all this guilt, ultimately chaining Asa to Yoru's dominion until, ironically, she remembered her own door. Denji would remember his own door through Makima when she revealed that Denji had killed his father in self-defense as a child. The dynamics responsible for the transition from ignorance to enlightenment are inversed, with different focuses on finding humanity and overcoming guilt, only to lose the battle in the climax. This suggests that the current arc of Part 2 might be the final or penultimate arc. While Fujimoto hasn't officially announced a final arc, the signs are here. The protagonist's life hangs in the balance, and Denji alone has the choice: to kill another loved one to save the world, or to risk letting the war devil prevail in exchange for stopping death. There are two world enders, each representing opposing outcomes. In the real world, Fami sacrifices her blood to Pachita to revive him. Yoru's floating head condemns Fami for interfering in her holy war. The term holy war is quite fitting for the times, as it connects to Fujimoto's least favorite country, the United States of America, and the campaign of terror on Gaza and Palestine by Israel, a heavily protected ally of the United States. Some radical elements of American religion, including white evangelicals, believe that everything Israel does is for the pursuit of a holy war in preparation for the Third Temple, a restoration of ancient Israel's glory before the end times. Yoru is fully empowered thanks to America, the country she loves most because it makes her more powerful, terrifying, and beautiful. This resurrection is portrayed in this paradoxical beauty through the U.S. anthem, revealing how institutional and essential war is to the very life of America. Yes, war is dressed in beautiful formality and terrifying to those who are left utterly powerless, for that is the point. Furthermore, as the war devil, Yoru sees war, her essence itself, as sacred. So, Fami's attempt to bring back Pachita would undermine Yoru's victory. Yoru, the war devil, is waging a holy war to ensure that war itself is the norm, that humans are immortal and constantly bringing suffering while also dominating each other in an endless cycle. Fami revs up Pachita to revive him, but then Yoru is about to point the gun devil arm when her eyes and face transform back into Asa. Asa momentarily regains control and turns her finger on herself, blowing off the top half of her head. Miri Sugo transforms into her sword hybrid form and chops up Yoru's body into pieces to stall Yoru's regeneration. After being called by Miri, Lil D calls for Gwilly, the Galatan devil, to mince Yoru, who is close to fully regenerating. With her regeneration stalled twice, Yoru was wide open for sure. Death, along with Fami and Miri, called for Chainsaw Man to devour the war devil. However, instead, Pachita slices up all three of their heads simultaneously while holding down the guillotine devil. Pachita's pose is similar to Denji's in the cover of Chapter 23, Gunfire. This suggests that Pachita intends to save Asa rather than allow her to die. Since the beginning of the current arc, Denji has prioritized selfish desires that align with maintaining his individual dignity over the fate of the world, including ensuring Asa has her own freedom to live. Now that he knows her fully, including her own door, Denji intends to allow her to live her own life. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more content. ShryphonX out.